Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is a viewer requested video. You've been asking me how to program this TimGo golf cart battery for energy storage applications. Well, I've already reprogrammed this battery, but I'm going to show you my setup on a different battery that's built very similarly and has very similar programming. So let's get right into it. So this is the subject battery for today. I'm going to change the programming and setup in this battery. It's programmed the same as the TimGo. And the full review on this battery will be out in probably a week or two, so bear with me. These 51.2 volt batteries take a little bit longer to get reviews out, but full review on this one coming soon. And proceed at your own risk with doing any changes to any batteries, not just this battery. I'm just showing you the values I'm going to put into this battery. Yours may be completely different. You could void your warranty. You could damage your battery. Just be warned. Going to be using this app right here. So here is the battery right here. That is the Bluetooth address, the MAC ID right there. 16S battery, 51.2 volts, of course. So I'll show you some of the settings I'm going to be putting in this battery to be more conservative. There's your BMS model number right there, the SP24 BMS. And you can see there's been no event counts in this battery yet. So to change any settings in these batteries through this app, you go to the settings page right there, and it gives you all your data, how it's programmed from the factory. So this is 2 for 1, showing how this battery is programmed. So I'll include a clip off of this video into the review video on that battery. So these are the pre-programmed factory settings. Let me get you down through here and take a look at everything first. So there we go. There's all our settings. Pretty wild range of voltages and things like that. Not very conservative whatsoever. So if someone was wanting to change the settings in this battery and you wanted to back up for how it was programmed originally, I'll go up here to the Save Configuration tab on the app, hit the plus button right there. I'll show you more on this in just a minute anyhow. And we can just put stock configuration or stock GC BAT. That should work just fine to save the original setting, which this is what I'm going to use to dump back into this battery before I do the review and things like that, so I'm not skewing the factory data and the way the battery is programmed from the factory. So I have to save this program so I can put it back in. So save the configuration right there, and just if you wanted to put it back in, you go to the open configuration right there, stock. Well, it says go battery. I missed the C, but hey, that's all right. We know what we're doing. So we'll go back to the settings right here on the battery. We're not dumping any files. We're going to do it manually. So first thing, coming down through the settings page, capacity configuration, I'm not going to change anything in there. That's fine. It'll track its capacity moving in and out, things like that. This is a reference point if you reset the battery, trip the battery, other things like that. Not going through all the nuances of how the BMSs operate, but I usually leave most of this alone right here. First thing I'm going to change right here, the balancer configuration. It's not wanting to balance until 3.4 volts per cell. I'm going to change it to 3.3. Remember, this is all in millivolts, so remember to divide out to get your cell voltages. So 3.3 volts per cell with a 15 millivolt differential. That's pretty standard across the board for most BMSs. So right there, and the balancer is enabled and the balance when charging. I'll leave that one off. I'll let it balance even when the battery is passive, just sitting there static. You'll burn off just a little bit of energy, but not much, so not had any real ill effects from that. Next thing, function configuration, display Celsius. No, I don't want to display Celsius. So go back to Fahrenheit. So now we'll go here to the protection levels right here. Here's all our triggers and protections. So you can see how wild this battery is set. Lets the voltages get way out of what would be considered normal. That's because it's a golf cart battery. They give it a little more range for surges and things like that, but I still don't like my cells going into these voltage thresholds right here. Another thing I usually do with these batteries, you see our charge under temp protection is at 32. Just to err on the side of caution, I usually set them to 34 degrees Fahrenheit. Right there, and you notice anything I'm changing, it gives us a highlighted box, so you can look back through before you program it or write the program to see what you have changed. I'm okay with the other settings right here, and then the discharge under temp settings, that'll be based on the cell manufacturer's data and things like that. So hopefully these are right. So now the first thing right here, the battery over voltage is set at 60 volts on this battery. I don't like that whatsoever, so I'm going to click that right there. I'm going to delete that out. Remember, this is in millivolts. So I'm going to put it back to 58.4 volts, you know, just full normal lithium iron phosphate cell voltage, 58.4 right there. And then the release condition, you can leave it at 57.6 or, you know, whatever floats your boat. If you're somebody's, you know, taking this on, I'm going to put it at 56 volts right there. So remember, it's my personal settings right here, what I would do. And then the battery under voltage. This is total pack voltages now, not per cell. So for this one right here, I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to set this one back at 44 volts. Whoop, bump this key right there, 44 volts. So right there. And then the release condition back, I'm going to put that up to 48 volts right there. And then the cell over voltage condition, set at 3.75 per cell. I'm going to set it back at 3.65 volts per cell. And I'll set the release condition at, let's just do 3.5 volts per cell right there. And the delays should be fine on all this. And then the cell under voltage, I'm trying to scroll you up as I type. So right here, the cell under voltage. I'm going to set that at 2.5 volts per cell right there, which is pretty standard. I'll put that there. And then my release condition, I'm not going to release it until it gets back to 3 volts per cell. Make sure I get some charge back in the cells before it can be discharged again. Then we'll go down here to the charge over current and discharge over current. Now 300 amps is good for a golf cart. Most of them don't need that, but they give you plenty of room. I'm going to change that to 100 amps. Remember, this is in milliamps, so remember to divide out. So this is 100 amps. I'll do 100,000 milliamps on the charge, and then the discharge, I will do 100,000 on that one as well. So that'll be equivalent. That'll be 100 amps. So right there. And then for the delay right here, that's the release condition right there. It's 32 seconds. It's got a 2-minute delay at 100 amps. Now, if you're going to slam the battery at 100 amps or have big surges, just a single battery, 120 seconds is okay. I prefer a little bit more conservative with that. It'll handle, you know, that current no problem, but I'm just going to put that down to, let's say 60 seconds. That'll be a little bit better. I mean, no big deal right there. We're only down at 100 amps, but the BMS can handle 100 amps quite easily, just for the sake of changing. Let's just put it at 60 seconds right there. And then our level 2 protections, our level 2 overcurrent, 560 amps. A little bit high for my needs, for what I'm going to be using the battery for. So I will put that ultra conservative. I'll go down to, we can do 160 or 220. I doubt you're going to see a surge of 160, but I'll do 160 conservatively. And then the level 2 over voltage, we can leave these alone, or you can change them. This is going to catch it. Before that right there, you can see the delay. That's 3.9 volts with an 8-second delay. And then up here, we are 3.65 with a 2-second delay. So you could change these, put them to the same as the level 1 protections if you want, or you could bump it up just a little bit. I'm going to leave it, I'm going to put it at 3.65 as well. Leave that delay in there. The level 2 under voltage, I'll just put that at 2.5 volts per cell as well. Leave the programming in right there because this will catch it well before that does. So leave that there. And then the short circuit protection, 2,000 amps. That's way up there. We're going to bump that back down to 440 amps. That should be a lot more conservative. So that's good right there. Look through everything again. Remember, everything I change is in a highlighted box right here. And the trigger delays can be changed, but these are pretty tight trigger delays, so I'll leave them alone. So everything looks pretty good. I like that. That's a lot better than what it was. So now I will write the program to the board. Okay, so the BMS write indicator is completed. Go back through here, make sure everything is correct right there. Okay, so then you come back to the home screen of the battery right here. And sometimes you'll get a FET software lock right here, sometimes you won't, just depends. I've had them do both ways. Sometimes this discharge switch will be locked off and it'll be a FET lock, sometimes it won't. Just depends on the board, and I've seen it both ways. So go through there, check it, and then go back to our settings again. Make sure everything took, and it appears that everything took in the program. So looks like everything is there, so that's good. So now I've got my program how I want it for this battery. I double checked, triple checked, everything is there. So now I'm going to save this configuration. I've already got a golf cart to ESS. It's got a little bit different settings right here. This is actually a Repower Flow program right here for their AP series board. So I'm going to change and add this in as a new file. So I'll put, let's do SP series, and that's golf cart. I'll let autocorrect get me this time, to ESS. So SP series, that's still autocorrect me, but I know what it is. I'm not wasting any time with that. I'll fix that later. So now that configuration has been saved. So if I wanted to dump that in another battery, I could log into another JBD BMS with a similar board. I could go through there and get that SP series golf cart to ESS and just dump this program right back in. So that's how that works. Pretty straightforward and pretty simple. So saving the files, you can dump them back into the board, anything like that. So this battery, I'll show you that too. I've got to keep this battery for posterity and accuracy. I've got to have this battery program back how it was, when it arrived to me. So I can't leave those settings in that I just put in there. So that's why, another reason I saved the files. So I can click the stock golf cart battery right here and write the file back to it. Give it a second, and it'll put its factory values back to the board. So then I won't be skewing any review or test results when I'm working with this battery. So there we go. I dumped the file back into the battery right there. As you can see, 3.4 volts per cell. And then all the crazy voltage numbers and stuff they had in there. So now the battery is back to its stock configuration. So I hope the video was helpful today. Any other questions or anything about this app or these batteries, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Y'all take care. Be safe. I will see you on the next one.